am all dolled up for an event for my son who won an award, like Rookie of the Year award for some racing he did. He's 14. It's pretty exciting. And they're not going to be here for another 30 minutes. And um, I thought I'd pop on. I haven't done a video in a while because my audio on my phone is being really dumb and it keeps going in and out. So apologies to that. So I've just been writing channeled messages, but I don't have my notepad or anything like that. So I'm just going to come on, and I really feel strongly to speak right now. I coach a lot of people who have left abusive, toxic partners, and they're still kind of recovering and healing. Many people who have children with these individuals, so it makes it really difficult to fully move on. And I know how difficult that healing journey can be. We can often feel very stuck in the victim mode and just feel very held back and defeated. I know I've been in those spaces. I still struggle at times, but one of the key things that helps me a lot is to remember that this is going to be a little out of the box thinking, but to try to see things from a higher place, like set your mind on things above. I just heard we need to remember that, yeah, we are going through a lot of these things physically with toxic partners, but there is an energy behind this, a spiritual nature to this. We are souls in a body first and foremost, and we need to remember that the fight that we are having isn't necessarily about us and that other person. It is about our energetic signatures. And a lot of us would consider ourselves maybe empaths or sensitive, trying to stay in the light, just connected to ourselves and source energy, divine healing energy. And we often can become a target for toxic dark energy. I really truly believe in my soul that there is kind of something we can't see going on behind the scenes, like a spiritual war, like a tugging and pulling between like dark and light energies, love versus hate, truth versus lies. And we can often become a target for our pure, sometimes naive, innocent intentions towards loving intentions towards others. And that can be a target for people who are takers and want to just like feed off your energy. I have studied a lot of different spiritual modalities, so I'm kind of combining some of my knowledge from soul realignment therapy that I've done and coaching and my own religious upbringing and things like that. But all kind of come together is that I lost my train of thought. There's kind of this war going on, and I do believe us individuals who can be kind of loving to a flaw can easily get taken advantage. And it is through these really difficult, tough experiences that we often learn how to set boundaries, how to put ourselves first at times, how to get toxic people out of our life, to not be a doormat. I know I was raised to kind of like keep forgiving, and 70 times 7, you know, like in the Bible story, how much should we forgive? 70 times 7. And that really stuck with me, and I really ended up becoming a people pleaser and toxic in my own way of like overgiving, not setting boundaries, not valuing myself enough, like overcompensating for other people. I might have said that already. People pleasing. So I'm recovering from all those things. I feel like I have recovered, and it will sneak up and rear its ugly head once in a while. I have a toxic individual still in my life who wreaks havoc on me quite a bit, and the body keeps the score. It's taken a toll on me. I have to do a lot to nourish my body. Today I did a salt bath and just like some clearing exercises, things like that. So every day I'm being challenged, but I truly almost think that it almost gets worse when you start to leave, when you start to clear negative energy, when you start to really step into your purpose. Those negative energies can really try to stop you, hold you down, hold you back, send negative energy your way, sabotage you, honestly. And I think for me, I've always been a seeker of truth. I've always had a pretty strong intuition and a strong internal world that I actually asked to know the truth about my situation, my partner at the time. I was just, things were feeling off, and I actually asked to know the truth. I think I literally prayed, I really am struggling to know the truth. Things feel off. I just really want to know the truth. And it was a slow, gradual process of things being revealed, more things not adding up. But then it was almost like wham, all at once, like a major tower moment hit my life. And I literally heard in my brain, it wasn't audio, it was just like my thoughts were interrupted by other thoughts. And I literally heard, you wanted to find out the truth? Well, tonight's the night you're going to find out the truth. And then, sure enough, I found out a lot of things. And it was just like one thing after another that were just absolutely devastating. It ripped the rug out from under me. My foundation was very harsh and cruel and a long, drawn out healing process for me. But I was wanting to know. I was seeking the truth, and I ended up in a abuse counseling center that was a shelter also for women. And I remember very clearly getting the knowledge that I needed to understand that there are people out there that intentionally try to harm other people, because we can we're so sometimes loving and caring that we want to try to understand why that person did that. We might even take the blame. We might believe the lies that it's our fault, and sure, we should take blame when things are there for us to take blame. There's two sides to every story, and oftentimes we get caught up in toxic behavior dealing with these kind of individuals. But we need to remember that they exist to take and siphon energy from others. I truly believe that at some point, like narcissistic energy, really low vibe energy, and now I'm not talking about good-hearted people who are just being assholes because they've been through shit, and they haven't healed. I'm talking about people who are like downright evil. They are negative souls. And if you want me to test for that for you, I have a tool that I can use to actually find out if the person you're dealing with is a positive or a negative soul. If you are not sure, because if they are a negative soul, that is going to be an impossible person to ever be able to really cooperate with and work with well. They most often don't heal. They have chosen at some point in their path, in their soul's journey, maybe in another life if you believe in that, to not receive divine energy. So I'm sitting in a parking lot right now. They have cut themselves off from source energy. They put themselves kind of higher than God. They don't feel like they need God. I wouldn't even say they're atheists, because I do believe they know of God. But they've chosen to denounce their conscience, their soul energy, and they've stopped receiving by choice. Okay, and they can heal, I suppose, and turn back, but most often they don't. They receive more from taking from others than they do from divine source. Being, honest, authentic, real, giving to others, serving the planet, trying to help, that doesn't work for them. They're very self-seeking, thrill-seeking, risky behavior, sex, money, all the things, the 7 deadly sins kind of. And they do have to exist. They do still have to have energy, but they cut themselves off from divine source energy, so they have to take it from other people. Energy vampires, have you heard that term? It's kind of harsh, but they have to take from other people to survive. It's just the laws of nature. You can't, if you had no energy, you'd be dead. So they are just taking from everyone, and they have to have like constant supply. You might have heard that word. These are some narcissistic words that I've come to know: gaslighting, manipulation, triangulation, all those things. Look into it. It was like a light bulb. I literally one day, my friend told me, like, have you ever wondered why I haven't come over to your house in a while? It's because I think you're so-and-so is a psycho. And I was like, what? A psycho? That's like really extreme. That's like Ted Bundy serial killer kind of stuff. And then but then after she said that, one day in my bathroom, and I was crying, trying to understand all this, what's happening to me, I literally imagined like a light bulb over my head, and it was like, oh my gosh. I looked up what the meaning of psycho was, and it was just like really toxic, narcissistic personality disorder. There's kind of a scale, psycho being kind of like the more intense. Not as many people in the population are true psychos, but there is like a whole like spectrum of narcissism, kind of like how there's an autism spectrum, right? There's like a range. And I was like looking into the behavior qualities, and there are very similar themes of their personality and what they do to people and how they victimize others and target others. So I think some of you right now are failing to really grab onto the fact that these are negative souls. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. You don't have to keep explaining to yourself or covering for them or whatever, it will really set you free when you know there are just some people in the world that are evil. Okay. And this might be your rude awakening one-on-one, narcissist one-on-one training on dealing with toxic people. But the more you can understand this from like a higher place, like set your mind on things above, like see this from a spiritual point of view and not just what they're doing to you physically down here, taking your money, lying to you, cheating on you, whatever, trying to take your kids away from you, all the shit that they do. It's just like their mojo, it's like their playbook. Um, Painful. Okay, I'm not discounting it. It is very painful. Okay, but it helped me a lot when I was like realizing this is kind of a spiritual battle, and they actually exist to kind of drag you down, suck you down, sabotage you, to see you fail. And I truly believe they would love it if you were dead, depending on how psycho they were. Okay, maybe they're just like a little bit of psycho, and there may be still some hope there. But if you're dealing with evil people, they truly, because they have been like emptied their vessel and they take from others, they've also allowed themselves to be taken over by other darker negative energies. That's truly what I believe. Some of these people have basically sold their soul, and then that dark negative energy wants to exist and thrive and stay alive, and so it has to target all the love and the tenderness and the honesty and everything. It's like a balancing, right? There's like a war going on. And if I feel like if some of you could see it from that higher place, like really pray about this. If it doesn't resonate for you, toss it out. But if you are struggling that somehow it's your fault, or why are they doing this to me, or like I don't deserve this, and you cannot get out of that, really try to ask for guidance from your spirit team, your guides, your angels, the ones that are looking out for you on the energetic level. I think some of this needs to get targeted on the energetic level, and I'm not sure if counselors are talking about this kind of stuff, but it's really important. I mean, I believe in mind, body, soul. Check out my website, thezenzonestudio.com, for a list of my services. One thing that's not listed there is my soul rest reading, which is actually tapping in to a person who you love that is passed away, and giving them a soul rest reading, basically kind of like a Reiki and a channeling to help you understand them at a soul level and give them peace. Over Energy doesn't ever die, and you can give it. It doesn't matter time or space. You can gift that to somebody. So that's not on the website. That's a new service. But the rest of it, the Reiki, the channel messages, I'm doing little mini personal readings. You can see some of those short videos. I really tap into a lot of this kind of stuff, and I, through my coaching and my own personal journey, I feel like the closer you are to breaking free and having self-love and really connected to source, the more of a target you are, because there is kind of a spiritual battle going on, right? And just, but you have divine protection if you call it in, and you're more powerful. Love will always win, but it does feel sometimes that these people win these battles, and they often do. Going to court is a joke. I don't know where you live, but court system by me is very broken. I've stopped trying to even get any justice, because it's like Justice Center, my ass. It literally says Justice Center right outside the door, and every time I see that, I'm like, my ass. It's just so broken. They don't understand. How could it be just when they don't even really understand that most of the time people in court are there because somebody's highly toxic and a lying sack of crap and like dragging somebody through the mud. Most people don't really want to be at court. They don't like, the court people don't seem to understand that. Usually one of the people of the two that are there are probably a freaking psycho of some kind. So I feel like the justice is going to need to kind of happen on your end, by your healing, by your self-love, by your setting boundaries, by your self-worth, by you creating what God wants you to do in this life. And the harder you're fighting and the harder attacks that are coming at you, the bigger purpose you probably have. And I am also learning this myself. Okay, I'm struggling a lot with like body pain. Like I've done a lot of healing emotionally, mentally. I'm very in tune with myself. I look at my feelings, I deal with my feelings. I'll sit alone with my feelings until I process everything and heal. But now I'm having problems in my body. I was in a car accident. My shoulder is still messed up. I'm in so much pain some days. All this stuff has taken a toll on my body, and I need to now address my body vessel. But I also can get kind of like just so bogged down by the weight of everything and how everything feels that I can too get off my path and become back in the victim. But we are stronger than that. We have God on our side, and if you don't have God on your side yet, get God on your side. Okay, start praying to your God, your source energy, your divine healers, your ancestors, your higher self, to tap into that part of you that you've forgotten, that you've been told you are not enough, not worth anything, basically a pile of garbage. That's what they like you to feel. And that you'd be better off dead. That's what they want you to feel. Stop that. Okay, you are here for a purpose, and the world needs you, the planet needs you to raise your vibration, crawl out of that pit. I don't care if you crawl out of it 100 times. I always felt like something would happen and I would be thrown back into the pit and I would have to like climb my way out. I kind of imagined that happening. Now I'm pretty good out of the pit, but now all of a sudden I'm like, I can barely move some days and I can barely get out of bed and shower because my body is so heavy and sore. And so like, what the heck, so I doing my own way then. Okay, fine. I don't have the energy to do ABC. I'm going to do DEF then. I'm going to, like with my videos too, sucking with the sound, I'm just going to write it then. Okay, I'm not going to stop doing what I'm called to do, and definitely pray about what you're being called to do right now, because you can take on too much and you can overextend and you can burn out. That's not advised either. But I think if some of us really realize that these people know what they're doing, they're like basically they sold their soul and they're basically kind of like the enemy, spiritual enemy, the dark forces that want to hold everybody back from the light and seeing the light and going to God and loving one another while loving themselves. That's wage a war on all of us in many different ways. Yep, it's attacking everything that we hold dear. That's just what they do, and we are called to rise above and to channel divine support and call it in. Call it in. They don't have it. They can only take from others. They don't want to call in divine helpers. Why wouldn't you want to have the divine realm on your side? Archangel Michael with his sword, his shield. Imagine, what's that movie, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe? Imagine that big lion. What's his name? Aslan? I'm getting it wrong. Imagine him standing beside you, walking your battles with you. Okay, do what you have to do to empower yourself. You are not alone. If you need coaching or healing, please reach out to me at thezenzone@mail.com, not Gmail, but mail.com. The website is thezenzonestudio.com. There's lots of stuff on there. If there's something specific you want that I don't have on the list, let me know. I'm a really good channel for divine healing, do Reiki, obviously the soul rest readings, whatnot. And I have a lot of trauma and abuse coaching in my background and experience. So I love you a lot. Hopefully this helps somebody. I don't know why I was called to do this rant. I'm sitting in my car all dolled up, my nails done, my hair done, waiting for my kid to show up. And I'm like, I'm realizing my go-tos to like just scroll through Facebook or check my emails or be on YouTube watching another tarot reading or spiritual video or endless recipes. I'm realizing where I'm also being kind of like have addictive behaviors when have some downtime or I feel just so tired, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to stop doing that. If I have some time, I'm going to get on and be a voice to help others. And I've been kind of quiet about my journey with narcissistic abuse because I'm still dealing with the person. I don't want to backlash for anybody involved. But oh well, let it come. I've got divine helpers on my side. This is my calling to help all of you, and I hope it resonates for somebody. Honestly, I prayed early on that the hell that I've been through would be used for good, and if it even helps one person, I'm a happy camper. I really feel somebody out there has got to be needing this right now. Like I needed it back then, and unfortunately I didn't have anybody coaching me or helping me. I just was really so connected to myself and my spiritual realm and angels. I literally visualized them, and my grandmother who was passed and things like that. I called in like those divine helpers when I felt so alone because I didn't have anybody around to help me. And I know that's hard for some of you because you don't have that, and that's a gift that I feel I can offer. So let me be a voice, hopefully shine some light on your situation. If you need more than that, please reach out to me. I'm Rachel, and thank you for listening. Share with somebody if you feel they might need to hear this. I know it's a little out of the box, but we need to remember we are souls in a body. We are not a body with a soul. Okay, it's really important, and that's on my website too, kind of my motto. So love you all. I'm sending you healing love and some empowerment, because it can be a really dark time to walk through. And if you feel alone, just hang on. Remember, this is part of their mojo. This is a battle you're facing that you can win. In the end, love will always win. Give yourself the love that you wish they would have given you. Give yourself the truth that you're not going to get from them. Give yourself the apology that you're never going to get from them. Whatever you got to do, you know what I mean? Write yourself that apology note of what you wish they would have said or done, and then tear it up and burn it, or write down all your feelings of all the things you wish you could say that you know are going to fall on deaf ears, and burn and release. You know, do what you need to do to give yourself that closure, and reach out to other people who've been through it. Find a counselor who can understand what you've been through, and if not, go on YouTube. There's tons of free resources and healing music and sound therapy and remote Reiki for narcissistic abuse and self-confidence and meditation.